I've taken some time saying one or two things concerning Israel and Palestine, and this war has been raging on for a few years now, a few decades now, and many times some people really confuse what is happening. So to make sense to people who don't maybe know a lot about the Middle East, you must know there is not a physical country called Israel until 1968, when the United Nations really put it there. Remember, the traditional biblical Israel had migrated from the area because of their sin against God. And there's nothing else I can say about that. I just need to clarify that they rebelled against God, and God gave them up to the nations that were around them, and they were scattered all over the world. By 1948, Hitler is killing 6 million Jews. Unbelievable and unheard of. It was a systematic annihilation of the Jewish people. It was wrong on all angles, and that's why the World War II was fought by many nations, and nations came together. So after the United Nations is established and a few policies are passed, one of the things that was considered was to establish the nation of Israel in the place where it was. Now, originally Israel owned this land, but because they had walked away, because they had been chased away, another nation took over their land. This is common in all of the world. The American people never lived in America. They came from Europe and took over the land. So if the Indians, the original American people, come and claim their land, they have a right. I hope that makes sense. You could think about the same in a lot of African tribes that were removed, evacuated, and other tribes have settled in their area. So this was common in terms of migration. What is the problem right now with Israel? I think for me, Israel has a right to have a home, to have a land. However, a two-state nation seems not to work. Why? Because both nations are within each other. So I live in South Africa, and in South Africa there is Lesotho and Swaziland, which are two nations that are together within South Africa. But when you look at their money, their way of work, their way of life, everything is dependent on what South Africa requires. Yes, I know there's flights that could fly directly from wherever to Lesotho, but I'm telling you, most of everything that happens within Lesotho is controlled by South Africa. You have not heard of a war in Lesotho, a civil war in Lesotho, because South Africa will not allow that, because that is going to spill over into their country. So this is what is happening with Israel and Palestine. Palestine is the bigger nation. Israel has come back in their land, and they are taking over this place. And now they are unable to live with the Palestinians because of many issues. One of them is culture, the other one is religion, the other one is history, ethnicity, and so many things. Some people would run this Palestinian people all the way to Abraham's son Ishmael. I don't think that is correct, because also the Palestinians were moved into this land. They never lived in this land before. So what is the point of this war that is going on right now between Israel? How can a Christian like me put an understanding on this war that is going on? I think this war can be dealt with in a few simple ways. Number one, there must be forgiveness on all sides. It cannot be that one side is going to repent and the other does not repent, because all of them have committed atrocities that are unbelievable. I mean, terror groups like Hamas that are leading the Palestinian nation are unbelievable in terms of their war tactics. They put bunkers, armory bunkers, under schools and hospitals, so that if Israel bombs them, we will bomb a hospital. This is not fair on both the citizens of Palestine and the Jewish people. This war that started in October last year was started and orchestrated by a kidnapping that was done by Hamas. So Hamas need to repent. Israel needs to repent. They cannot blockade a nation, and the nation does not have food, does not have clothing, does not have any sustenance while they enjoy all the luxuries of life. That is unfair. We cannot say that that is justice, because justice requires that the people who are not involved in the fight be given a chance. Let the Red Cross go in, let the humanitarian organizations go in and help as they could and as they should. However, those who want to fight between the nations, let them continue to fight. This is happening in Sudan, this has happened in Libya, this has happened in Ukraine and many other places. Fighting can go on, but people can be civil. We cannot be animals. We can be civil about even the fight. We can agree to allow people to walk in. And I know I am not in any way an authority on the Israel and Palestinian or Middle East wars. But as I look at the Bible speaks of two Israel. It speaks of a spiritual Israel, which is the Israel of God, the people who have believed in Jesus Christ as the Messiah. And those people are given special mention in scriptures, especially in the book of Romans chapter 9 all the way to chapter 11. It is important for us to note that a physical Israel is not a spiritual Israel. Not every Jewish person is the true Israel of God. I've mentioned this before. Not every Jewish person is the true Israel of God. However, Jewish people deserve to have a nation. They deserve to have integrity. They deserve to have a place they call home. And whether they agree with Jesus or not, it should not remove them from their nation. However, is this their nation? Do they own this land? Can we look at that? Because things have changed drastically. So I would encourage the people who are involved to ask for forgiveness, to ask for mutual respect, to ask that people be given permission to have something to eat. I mean, you can destroy people, but as soon as you make people hungry, you are causing more terrorists to come and terrorize you. Israel, you guys seem to be one of the wisest people in the world. You should know that. You are breeding more hatred and more terrorism because of the acts that you're using. I agree with you. What Hamas is doing is unbelievable and is uncalled for and should not be even considered. So, my take on Israel, historically, geographically, spiritually speaking, they need to have a place. They need to be a solution. A two-state agreement doesn't seem to be working for either party. And therefore, let's extend the hand of peace, of forgiveness, of brotherly love, of neighboring, because that's what Jesus stood for. Some of you need to live together so that Jesus can come back, by the way. So, if you are still fighting each other and you are brothers and sisters, this delays the coming back of the Messiah, who you are waiting for, hoping that his coming will be his first time. This, I think, could help to solve the problems.